Welcome to Yo-11 Minutes. Yo-11 Minutes, mostly Vegas, no BS, casino experience, and more. Michael Traeger is a casino and travel loyalty expert who also helps people turn their travel dreams into reality. And now, Michael Traeger. How's it going, Michael?
It's going really well. How are you doing? It's been a busy day. Good, but busy. Yeah, it has.
Good and busy are both good. If it's good busy, then it's good. If it's bad busy, then it's bad. So if it's good and busy, then I'm assuming good. Yes?
Yeah. No, mostly all good stuff. Lots of travel stuff, which I sort of enjoy. Though some of it stumps me every once in a while, but it's mostly good. But I like to be stumped. That's sort of a good thing.
Well, we got some stuff going on with G2E, so let's go ahead and get with it. It is time for the news and views. Aristocrat Gaming is showing off new slot machines at G2E. Aristocrat, the makers of Buffalo, will be showing 100% new to the public for-sale products on the show floor for the second year in a row. The portfolio will feature nearly 200 games on the floor, as well as 4 new cabinets. Highlights on the booth include Super Bowl jackpots, Tarzan vs. Wild, on the all-new King Max Buffalo Ultimate Stampede, Wonder 4 Revolution, Whisker Wheels, Buffalo Triple Boost, and Coin Trio. Aristocrat Leisure Limited's dedicated online real money gaming and customer experience solutions is optimistic, saying it will lead the charge in bringing operators on the journey from LAN to online at this year's G2E. You can experience the iconic Aristocrat titles reimagined, including Buffalo, Timberwolf, Wicked Winnings 2, and Miss Kitty, while engaging with innovative platforms and applications for operations that puts the gaming floor in the player's hands. The Villas at Disneyland Hotel at Disneyland Resort has opened. Disney Vacation Club officially opened its 16th property, the Villas at Disneyland Hotel at the Disneyland Resort, which is the 4th and newest tower available to guests staying at the Disneyland Hotel. Did you know each tower at the Disneyland Hotel has a unique name? The new Disney Vacation Club tower is named Discovery and joins the 3 existing Disneyland Hotel towers named Fantasy, Adventure, and Frontier. In this all-new 12-story tower, guests will find 344 themed rooms celebrating the creativity and magic behind some of the most beloved Walt Disney Animation Studio stories, just steps away from all the magic at Disneyland Resort theme parks. And that's going to do it for the news. And now it's time for the views. Michael, what are your thoughts on the new slot games and stuff like that happening with the G2E?
Well, I love hearing all the news during G2E, and I love hearing about the new slots, but I do not love Buffalo. I've never liked Buffalo. I don't know. There's something about it. I guess the game sort of irritates me, but I'm a little OG when it comes to slot stuff. So it's a little, well, actually, that's not totally true. I like some of the Link games. I do like all the Dragon Link and Dragon Cash. I mean, there's something about that Buddha that like sort of entices me. Buddhas and pandas and and August moons. I sort of dig that. And I love Top Dollar. I don't care what anyone says, but Top Dollar is I don't know what it is about Top Dollar because it's such simple gameplay, but I think it's extremely compelling. I don't know about Buffalo. And Buffalo Link is like too much for me going on. Like, do you like those? Do you like Link games? Do you like it when do you like it when you take a traditional game and then they turn it into a Link game? Because that sort of blows my mind sometimes.
But it's hit or miss when it comes to the Link stuff. I mean, I enjoy the better progressives. I remember the original Buffalo. It was cute. It had a CRT monitor. It wasn't a flat screen. It had these little buttons, fun little music, but then it just grew into this behemoth. Have you seen the Buffalo cathedrals where they have these Buffalo machines that are arching over and stuff like that? It's like, I want to like officiate a wedding there because I mean, where else?
I love the stampede sound that I happen to like because I'm very like, I think the sound sensitive, but what's so interesting to me is like when things like transition to a certain kind of slot and it gets so popular and then it eventually dies. Now, that doesn't seem to be happening with the Link stuff. The Link stuff is so popular. And that stupid game with the hard hats, which I hate, I like the one. This is how I describe games. I hate the one with the hard hats, but I like the pigs that shake their ass. No, seriously. I know this is very sophisticated slot talk. But remember, like Goldfish was so popular for a while, and then it became not popular. But there's a lot of slot games. Like there were some that like they got really popular for a while, and then I used to love the airplane slot, and that way disappeared. So that's sort of interesting. But these links, I mean, they seem to have major longevity. But really, really cool, really cool stuff. More, we'll definitely be talking about this stuff a little bit more.
Okay. I like the pigs that shake that ass. Okay.
That's what I call. I hit a cider on the big one, where it shakes its ass.
Wow. I don't even know what that. I gotta see. Is it piggy banking or is it?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, they sort of just jump because there's when you hit the bonus, it like jumps a little, and then.
The visual I have is you at this machine with this pig shaking its ass, and you're like making it rain with Tito's. You're like, yeah, take my money.
There you go. So you never know what you're gonna get on Yo-11.
You never know. Wow. Okay. Whew, all right. Okay.
Well, onward and upward.
I guess you can say that those pigs shaking that ass could be quite a tease. I don't know. It depends on how much you love bacon. But speaking of teases, it is time for the tease.
What if Mickey was a blackjack dealer? Or if Disney had a casino? That's our tease for the day. But what's sort of funny about it is I never realized that Disney actually has currently been floating the idea of having a casino. So we were talking about the new villas at Disneyland, and Movestro said, I said, wouldn't it be funny if Mickey was a blackjack dealer or Disney had a casino? And I said, they would never do that because Disney's always been anti-casino. And then Movestro says, I don't know here, because the Google says that Disney's been thinking about having casinos. So I was like, whoa. So that's sort of interesting. But it is interesting, this shift that Disney is actually considering having casino properties. Now, they might be like in like the Disney Springs area or somewhere else, but they are considering doing it, which is great because they've been resistant to gambling for a long time. I'm pretty sure that they're thinking about the fact that it's a great source of revenue. Also, there are casinos everywhere. They're ubiquitous. So it's interesting to see. An interesting point to note is that Disney does not have casinos on their cruise lines. And they also do a lot of theming on different decks, like you were talking about with the villas. So what do you think? This Disney casino thing, maybe it's not so crazy after all.
I mean, I'm just trying to picture, a Mickey Mouse blackjack dealer, I think, because, it's like, dealer house 21, Goofy. Doing craps, right? That would be his thing. But you would have, dealers. You've got multiple dealers at craps. Yeah. So you have could get the whole cast.
So you could have like
Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Yeah, that's right. On the left and on the right of the table, and like the box man could be like Donald Duck.
I'm trying to picture Goofy doing that.
I don't know. I think this Disney theme thing, I'm not sure how far they're going to take. I mean, usually Disney takes things pretty far, but I'm not sure about dealers dressed up. There haven't been a lot of occurrences actually that I can think of that the dealers are really dressed up. I mean, the one that always comes to mind are the bunny dealers at Playboy casinos, which there aren't really Playboy casinos, but can you think of, I mean, there are times where like dealers like on Sundays wear like their football jerseys. Some casinos do that where all the dealers wear football jerseys and things like that. But actually dealers dressed up in theme. Now I'm really curious. Have you thought of, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Well, I think I mean, well, every place has a uniform, right? I'm trying to remember if Bill's Gambling Hall, before it became the Cromwell, instead of the Cromwell Boutique Hotel, it was Bill's Gambling Hall. I'm trying to remember if they dressed up or they had a certain Western theme to it. But I do remember that at Imperial Palace, there used to be dealer-tainers. And these dealer-tainers would dress as the character that they would perform as anytime it was their, like, time to perform. So you had Elvis, and you had maybe a Blondie or two or something like that. So they would go up and do these things. But as far as, you know, being dressed a certain way, like, let's say the servers at Tilted Kilt or something like that, I don't.
No, but you're right. There's a difference between uniform theming and everybody wearing, like, you've got someone who's Elvis, someone who's Blondie, who gets up and performs, because, like, the D has great performers who also deal, but they're just like performers. They're not like, you know, like impersonators. But you know what? I think now that I think of that, when you talk about Imperial Palace, they did that because didn't they have a show at Imperial Palace, which was a Legends kind of show where they had all the impersonations? So maybe it was a play. Am I dreaming that? I thought there was a show at Imperial Palace that was called like Legends or something,
or Legends in Concert.
Yeah, you'll have to check that. You'll have to check that out. And for those who don't know, Imperial Palace became the Quad when it was taken over by Caesars Entertainment, and then it became the Link. We often forget the Quad. I forget that a lot of times. Whenever that comes up, I'm like, oh,
it was like for 6 months, wasn't it? It was just like a really short run. It was just like the Quad, because they thought they would attract college kids or whatever. And that didn't happen because college kids don't gamble. And so then it became the Link, right? It was a weird thing. It was kind of like when Sahara was Sahara, and then like had this midlife crisis and became SLS for a while. And then it came back to his senses and was like, all right, I got that out of my system, and went back to being Sahara.
No, you're right about that, because when Caesars first took it over, it actually was like Imperial Palace, like a Caesars property for the short time. And then they were I think the Link is sort of cool. Like, I just personally hate to lose property names, you know? I mean, that's why I keep sticking to Mirage Rock. But I just don't, I would like to, like, Sahara. What a great name. What great theming. Turning it into SLS. I understand SLS is a luxury brand.
Yeah. There's
SLS in a lot of places, I think, like at Baha Mar and other places, but still, you know, Vegas is Vegas, has a lot of history, but that's great stuff.
I would think that when these casinos first opened, like Caesar's Palace and Luxor, stuff like that, Excalibur, I would think that there might have been like royal themed dealers or Caesar era dealers, but I know a couple of people I can ask about that. I
think you're right. Actually, at Circus also, they had great uniforms. They were still uniforms, but they were like polka dot clown uniforms. And I think you're right about that.
Oh my God, that's horrible. Jesus, are you serious?
Yeah, wow. I think so. Well, you'll have to, we need fact checkers on the show, but Caesars did have that whole and there's so much to talk about Caesars. Remind me next time, we've got to talk about the Bacchanal.
Okay.
The original Bacchanal, but we're going to be way over on this. So great subjects, tons of great subjects today.
All right, we're going to have to make notes on this episode and use these things for future things. All right, so that being said, since we got to get going, do you have any closing thoughts?
You know what? My closing thoughts today is that it's great to look back at some of these properties and the theming. And I'm not going to go into what I was originally going to do because we've been chatting a lot today, but I have a couple of thoughts that are on my mind that will be coming up in the next day or two, and they're going to be good, and they're going to be all over the place with travel and other things. But I'm going to leave you in suspense for another day or two.
Ooh, suspense. That's another
right.
tease on its own.
That's
All
right.
Luxury travel booking, TravelZork Travel. Visit us at TravelZorkTravel.com to plan your next amazing vacation. And by the way, TravelZork Travel is an exclusive Disney travel agent and can help with all types of reservations to make your Disney vacation fabulous. Please join the conversation on social media. You can find us easily. All social platforms are at TravelZork. We'll see you next time.